Here's how you replace the door handle in a 1994 Chevy Astro van. It works for a GMC Safari as well, and I'm going to show you how to replace it because I've been driving on this door handle for a while, and the door handle apparently disattached itself right there. That little piece supposed to attach right there, and there's also something that it's like a hinge inside that's supposed to attach to the door to make this open, but nope. So I'm going to show you how to replace it, and here's all the tools you're going to need. So you're going to need 2 screwdrivers. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver like this, and then you're going to need a crosshead one. Once you have those two, you're going to need an adapter. It's like a small ratchet adapter for ratchets that, like for example, this 10mm, it won't fit on a regular ratchet like this. So it's like an adapter for that ratchet. You're going to need a 10mm, of course, and then you're going to need this adapter for a screwdriver like this. And then after that, you're going to need 3 extensions. You're going to need a long extension and 2 small ones, because inside here, inside that grommet, there's a 10mm that's all the way inside there. So you're going to need those 3 extensions, and then you're going to need a T15 Torx to remove these 2 screws up here. So there's the T15, so I brought out my whole entire set in case if I need something else from here. After that, a 10mm ratcheting wrench, a ratchet, and of course your door handle. So I went out and bought this door handle at AutoZone for like 27 bucks, and they said it's the right one, and let's hope it is. So I'm gonna show you how to do this, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, you want to remove these 2 T15 Torx screws right here. There's gonna be one right there and one right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove those. Alright, so the T15 is attached, so let's go ahead and start unscrewing. There's gonna be 2 you need to remove. So there's 1, and I think that's 2. And once these 2 are removed, next thing you're going to remove is this door panel. It's like a door panel that covers the buttons and all that. So I'm going to show you how to remove that right now. Alright, so to remove this panel, just get your hand behind here and carefully pry it off with your hands, just like that. And now there's going to be 2 things that you need to remove. This is for the windows, the power windows, and then for the power lock. So to do this, you can try removing it by hand, like that. You don't need to twist or anything, just remove it by hand carefully. And once it's loosening up, if you can't get it off by hand, just try it with a screwdriver. So once I get that off, this is going to be removed. We can go ahead and set this aside. Now you can remove this by hand, so just carefully pry it off like that. Once it's like that, pull it backwards or pull it inwards. It should come off just like that. And that's how you do it. Now that that's removed, the door panel is free to go. So just kind of get your hand behind here and do it carefully, because there's some clips back here that has to be removed by special tools, but I don't have those special tools, so just carefully remove them just like that. And once the entire panel is loose, you can lift it up and the panel comes right off. So we can go ahead and set this aside. Just like that. Once the door panel's off, this cover right here, it's like a cover so that dirt or debris doesn't get inside. You want to lift this up and put it somewhere like right here. And I got a trick to put it right here. So I'm going to show you guys how to put it right here without having it to fall on you. So what you do is you get a ratchet or a hammer, lift it up. It's kind of hard to do it with hand, but you put the hammer inside the hole where the clips go in. It's more easier to do with the ratchet, but it's technically what you do, like that. Once that's secured, next thing you want to do is you want to remove these 3 screws. So you're gonna need, I believe it's a T20, I think. It has to be a T20. It's a T20, so you want to remove them. So I got it wrong. It's actually a T25. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screwdriver that we attached it on before. We're going to attach the T25, and we're going to remove these screws. They're going to be a little bit tight on there, so you're going to need to use a lot of force. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them off camera. Alright, so I got it removed. So the reason you want to remove this is because so you can let this hang, and so that you can end up getting the screw that's up here. There's going to be See that hole right there? It's not really a hole, but it's like an indent to show you where the screws are. So there's one up there, one back there. So they're going to be behind the panel. Next thing you want to do is remove this rubber grommet. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver. And what you do is you carefully pry it out. Make sure not to scrape your paint. So you just carefully get the screwdriver in there and you just pry outwards. So like that, and you just pry outwards. It might fly because it's like a, there we go. There's the grommet. And now, inside there, see that 10 millimeter? That's the screw you need to remove. There's another one up there somewhere. Can't really see it, but it's right there. That's the 10 millimeter. So you're gonna have to remove those with these two extensions, and I'm gonna show you how to remove it. Alright, so I got my 10 millimeter attached, and it's counterclockwise. Kind of broke, but once you remove it, you can go ahead and start removing it. Once you break loose, just start removing it by hand. Be careful with the nut because there's some indents inside the door panel where the nut could fall off, and that kind of makes me mad, so carefully remove it. And just like I said, it fell off. It's right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and I'm gonna show you how to remove the other one that's right there. So I ended up having to put in a ratchet right here to hold up this little cover. So now I'm gonna show you how to remove the 10 millimeter. So what you do, you get your ratchet. As you can see, the 10 millimeter is right there. You get your ratcheting wrench and you try to get the box end to fit inside the entire 10 millimeter. So just like that, broke it free. And then you can try removing it by hand. So now, it's gonna be a little hard because this little cable, be careful because you might want to hold it with 2 fingers. Once it's really loose, hold it with 2 fingers and get it out just like that. So there's the two 10 millimeters, and now the entire door handle like this can come off. So I'm gonna show you how to remove it. So now the door handle's free, so just kind of wiggle it off. If it doesn't come off, then that means there's something inside there. Just watch the threads as you remove it. If it doesn't come off still, then you have to use a flathead screwdriver. So right here, a flathead screwdriver, just get it behind here, pry it off. It doesn't really matter if I break the handle because I'm going to replace it anyways. So that once the top is off, the bottom is off, the top should come off, and the entire handle came apart in my hand. Isn't that great? So the handle came apart in my hand, just like that. It came apart. That's just a wow. So this does look identical to it, and let's just hope it fits again. So this is identical, but it all came apart in my hand. So now we can go ahead and install the brand new one. Alright, so now this part right here, the little hanging thing right here like that, all you gotta do is just push in this rubber grommet. It's not a grommet, but it's like drop the door handle. But all you do is you get this, you see that little rubber part right there? You get the tip of the end and you just push it inside there, and once it clicks, that's when it's in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So after you do that, this little part right here, you just push it in. It's just like that. And then you can go ahead and slide this entire assembly back inside. So I'm gonna do this off camera as well. So I ended up having to put this entire assembly back in so that the entire assembly for the door handle would fit on just like that. So once the door handle's on, all you do is get the bolts on, or not the bolts, you get the nuts on, you put the panel back on, and I'm gonna show you how to do all of that right now. Alright, so I got the 2 bolts back in. It wasn't easy, but at least I got them back in. And the door handle works perfectly. Here, check this out. Lock that up and get my finger back here. Actually, you can just open it up. Works perfectly. So now we can go ahead and get everything back in, and I'll show you how to do that right now. So first, start off with the rubber grommet, because this is the most important part, so that water or moisture doesn't get inside here. Make sure it's sealed up perfectly. And after that, get these 3 screws back in and tighten them down. And after that, we can go ahead and get the door panel, which I have it right here. And get the door panel. And carefully align it back in. Push it down. Make sure it's in completely, or make sure it's in right. Before you do that, make sure that the cables that came inside here, make sure that they're perfectly aligned like that. So now, make sure you can try to pop it in place. So right there, just like that. Next one over here. So we're gonna see if we can pop one in here. There's one right there. See if it goes in. All right, hold on. Just like that. And now I'm gonna show you how to get this part back in. So the first thing you want to do, get your door panel and get this set. Put this one in here. Make sure the top middle goes to the long one right here, because that's how it's supposed to be connected. Push it in. And I ended up finding the little twist knob for it, so you can just twist it on so that it doesn't come loose. After that, next one, this one didn't have a twist knob, so push it in. Again, the middle goes in the very middle one right here. That one right there goes in that. A little hard. There we go. Just like that. And now we can get this back on here. Red goes to the bottom. Unlock it. And now push the cables back inside so that the entire panel can go back on. Clip it on carefully. The knob came off. But clip it on carefully. Push it in. Once it's on, we can go ahead and get this part back on. So now, this is the part you need to put back on. Make sure this part go inside there, just like that. And then once that's pushed on, give it a little bit of a push. And get those 2 screws back on, and I'm gonna go ahead and get those on. And once that's on, the screws are on, everything's back on, pushed in place, we are done. Now we're gonna test the door out. So we're gonna close it. It's closed. Beautiful. So that's how you replace a doorknob. And here's all the old parts that came off of my hand. So as you saw later in the episode, the whole entire doorknob came out of my hand. So, or not the doorknob, the door handle came out of my hand. So that was completely destroyed. And that is how you replace a door handle. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe for more daily car repair videos. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.